What's up, BookTube? Sandy Golston back here with a video on some books that I am looking to read as I continue to explore authors that I really didn't know that much about beforehand, but through either word of mouth or through simple searching, I've been able to discover some hidden gems. And so in this particular video, I'm going to go the nonfiction route and give you a glimpse into an author that I recently discovered through the recommendation of someone that I know. And the author that I have discovered now is John Gordon. And the book that initially got my attention was called The Energy Bus. And after exploring The Energy Bus by John Gordon, I came across two other books that I found to be quite interesting as well. And so as I pulled the trigger on The Energy Bus, I said, you know what? I'm going to go and look at these other books to see if there's something else that might be interested, and maybe I'll start to really embrace this particular author much in the same way that I did Patrick Lencioni books a couple of years ago. So I did strike gold two more times. So 3 total books by John Gordon that I'm going to talk to you about today. Okay, so first up once again is going to be The Energy Bus, and it might be a little bit hard to see with the light, but The Energy Bus, and it reads on the front cover, 10 rules to fuel your life, work, and team with positive energy. And it is listed as a Wall Street Journal bestseller. So let me read a little bit from the inside cover just to give you a little bit of a feel for this particular story. So it's one of these stories, kind of like the Patrick Lencioni stories, where you use fiction to help you illustrate a point that will be presented in a nonfiction way toward the back end of the book. And so this continues in that particular tradition. So here we go. It's Monday morning, and George walks out of the front door to his car and a flat tire. But this is the least of his problems. His home life is in shambles, and his team at work is in disarray. With a big new product launch coming in 2 weeks for the NRG 2000, he has to find a way to get it together or risk losing his marriage and job. Forced to take the bus to work, George meets a unique kind of bus driver and an interesting cast of characters who, over the course of 2 weeks, share the 10 rules for the ride of his life. In the process, they help him turn around his work and life, saving his job and marriage from destruction. The Energy Bus, an international bestseller, takes readers on an enlightening and inspiring ride that reveals 10 secrets for approaching life and work with the kind of positive, forward thinking that leads to true accomplishment at work and at home. Everyone faces challenges, and every person, organization, company, and team has to overcome negativity and adversity to define themselves and create their success. No one goes through life untested, and the answer to these tests is positive energy. The kind of positive energy that consists of the vision, trust, optimism, enthusiasm, purpose, and spirit that defines great leaders and their dreams. So that's just a little bit of a sample of what is going on in this particular book. And then there's some great endorsements on the back cover of the book as well. So and about a little bit about John Gordon. John Gordon's best-selling books and talks have inspired readers and audiences around the world. His principles have been put to the test by numerous NFL, NBA, and college coaches and teams, Fortune 500 companies, school districts, hospitals, and nonprofits. John invites you to visit and connect with him at www.johngordon.com. So when I heard about this book, I thought, man, this is one that I definitely want to try. It's probably a relatively quick read. I'm looking at it right now, and it's just a little over 140 pages. So I think this is going to be one of those short books that's going to have tremendous impact. Next up with John Gordon, I discovered the book Training Camp. And Training Camp is described here on the front cover. What the best do better than everyone else. Training Camp, a fable about excellence. I will give you a little bit here again of the inside cover. Training Camp follows the story of Martin Jones, an undrafted rookie trying to make it in the NFL. He spent his entire life proving to the critics that a small guy with a big heart can succeed against all odds. After spraining his ankle in the preseason, Martin thinks his dream is lost. until he meets a very special coach who shares 11 life-changing lessons that keep his dream alive and might even make him the best of the best. Whether you play sports or the piano, work with a computer or a scalpel, these lessons apply to you because we all must climb the mountain before reaching its peak. So again, just another inspirational tale right there, where you're able to give people a lesson and again help illustrate the point that you're trying to drive home by showing the adversity that opens the door to opportunities to learn and grow. And that's what training camp does. Based on the description, I'm looking forward to reading this one very much so. Lastly, in my new John Gordon collection, my John Gordon book haul, if you will, is The Garden. The Garden, a spiritual fable about ways to overcome fear, anxiety, and stress. Many of us, increasingly, especially during these times with COVID and some of the challenges that many of us are facing, whether they be financial challenges or whether they be emotional challenges that we're dealing with, not having our normal lives go the way that we would prefer them to go. And so this book is perhaps as timely as any of them, considering the circumstances that we're currently in. Okay, meet the twins, J and K. Like many teenagers, they are dealing with stress and anxiety. One day on their way to school, they have a nice conversation with their old family friend and youth soccer coach, Mr. Irwin, who shows them a special garden he created in his backyard. The garden serves as both a place and a metaphor for Mr. Irwin to share a powerful paradigm and practical strategies to help the twins overcome their fear, anxiety, and stress. The Garden is an enlightening and encouraging spiritual fable that reveals the 5 Ds that can sabotage us and provides a proven plan to win the battle of our mind. Rooted in John Gordon's faithful tradition, this fable is a different kind of book than his previous business fables. However, in his familiar trademark style, he takes a complex subject and simplifies it to help people take action and improve their lives. And so this one really jumped out at me as well because, as I mentioned earlier, many of us are trying to deal with our fear and our anxiety and our stress, and we're looking for ways that we can face these challenges or ways that we can cope with these challenges in times that are more trying than what we would normally go through. And so I'm really excited to sink my teeth into this one as well. And I'm going to have a lot of reading, but again, these are very short books. So I'm going to just kind of skim through this one. This one's a little over, looks like 127 pages. So again, this would be a very quick read to devour. Plus there's of course a nonfiction component to it, in addition to the fable at the beginning that helps you kind of sit in the shoes or stand in the shoes of a character to see from their perspective how they're dealing with challenges, facing those challenges, and then trying to overcome those challenges. And so as I started to look through these John Gordon books, much as I did with Patrick Lencioni, I thought, man, this is a really unique way of telling an important story by giving you a practical, albeit fictional, account that helps set the stage for more realistic, hard, nonfiction, practical lessons that can help us all grow and become the best versions of ourselves. So I'm excited to read these 3 John Gordon books, and hopefully it'll get something maybe churning in your head and you'll start to think about it a little bit more. And maybe there's a space on your TBR for some John Gordon books to help you learn, grow, and become the best version of yourself.